Right on, so you joined me at this job where we took the chimney stack down from there, and these are all the remnants of the bricks. Now, it was 7 months ago, 8 months ago maybe, and they're still not being cleaned. But the idea is to move them from there to over to this part of the garden. Now I've just started digging out, so there's going to be a small footing in there. And because, I don't know if you can see, the actual ground goes up there, and these pebbles are always flying on here onto the grass. And then when it comes to lawn mowing, etc., you get stones everywhere. So this is the plan. We're going to put a small footing in there across to that corner. There's going to be a retaining wall. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to use breeze blocks on the flat, and then look at giving it a lime render or something like that, just to give it a bit of a face, and then cap it off with wood, some sort of wooden seat, either battens or maybe a sleeper or whatever. And then with the bricks, what you can see over here, so you see what we've got cleaned up, we're going to build a fireplace. So basically it's just going to be in the same shape as what the chimney stack was. Don't take that as gospel, but the idea is it's either going to be a log store at the bottom with a fireplace halfway up, with which can also be used as a barbecue, or do I put the fireplace below, arch it over, then do another solid base for the barbecue area, and have the flue going out the back, possibly with another arch, or so I'll just stick to one arch, I don't know. But it's definitely going to be 9 inch on each side anyway. It's probably going to be 9 inch at the rear. But the main goal now is, I'm waiting for the homeowner to come home to decide whether they think that fireplace is in the right place, if it's big enough. The idea as well, also, is once this retainer's in, along here, what I'm going to do is a quadrant across here, somewhere here, and then that's going to create like a low level garden, so it stops any kids running down there and using it as a shortcut, because these bloody pavers are all dangerous. I've just lifted a couple there. These are laid on blue visqueen, but if you come here, look, they all just, the idea is to get rid of all these as well, because it's just actually a death trap. I've got some bulk bag of ballast arriving and some building sand, so I can start to get a bit of a strip footing in there. So I've got a small trench dug out along here, just take a bit of concrete. Remember, it's not holding up anything fantastic, it's just a little bit of block work. So that's going there, then it's going to have to step up. I might just stop it there now, because the corner garden's going to go across there anyway, what I intend to do. Anyway, yeah, so then what I've done, I just dug this down, just sort of width of the pillars really. I'll get a bit of concrete in there, and I'll dig that back bit out. That back bit out. Now I know where I'm at. I'm sure this path runs off that way as well, so I'm going to take my levels from that end and bring it back this way. So if I start from here, level up, and that's falling down, the concrete's going to be above the path, it's not going to hold it. So you can see where I'm digging up for where the chimney breast thing is going to build the fireplace. It's going to be quite deep here because it's going to be quite a structure, so I mean that's going to be ample deep enough, but I just want to make sure. I've not gone across there onto that corner yet, that's not much, but I've got to get off and see to another job. This is just a pastime thing anyway, not much of a path, was it? Just picked it up with a spade and dropped it, it broke in half. We'll get that paver out there and we'll work our way along. Just get a saw out the vent. Right, I've got an old shitty saw, so I'm just going to put a peg in there to start with, and then we'll start taking some levels. So I'm only going to do these about, doesn't really matter how long they are, let's just say about that. If you want, you could point in the ends, so you're going to the ground easier. But all I'm going to do is I feel a bit of rain. Right, so that's going to come this way a bit. Get rid of a bit of that soil at that end. Ah, shit. Today, bring the washing in, it's just starting to rain. I'm all dirty. It's just starting. Oh, that's not far off that. A little bit high. Coolio's laziest. Still level. Just a little. That's straight. What are you nibbling for? So I've put that in there, and that last bit of rock that I've just levelled it across there just to give me a level. Some of you might be thinking, how are you going to get the screws out when it's done? Well, the thing is, this is all free open space, so it'll all just knock out anyway. And on that there, it's just got one screw going into there, and I've screwed this onto here, so all I have to do is take them two screws out and this full thing will lift off because I've only fixed it with one screw there. So that's given us a bit of a bit of a firm wet now, so that just ran right off. So I'm quite happy with that. What we'll love to look at next is borrowing some sand and cement round and some aggregate. Actually, we'll get the cement round first, and then I'll show the lad how to get a mix on. Right, back in a bit. The mischievous side just came out of me. I was thinking, shall I get him to do his wheelbarrow licence? You know, what you see all on them shorts. But no, I'm not that nasty. Or am I? Anyway, just built a little bridge on the River Kwai there. So I'm not bothered about the concrete finishing there, because that's going to be a separate footing for the fireplace anyway, and I want that to be separate from the wall. So if there is any movement, it moves separately. You can see there, look how deep it is. So I've got like 2 bricks, so that's 200 mil there, and that's the area that's going to be filled with concrete. I'm quite happy with that. Right, let's get the cement round, get the mixer set up. Right on, so we've got pre-made ballast, as you can see there. So there's 12 shovelfuls in there, and they're heaped. They're not level, they're heaped, proper man shovels, man heap ones. So anyway, if you're a bit of a loss, if you look on the back of your blue cycle cement, it tells you what you need to do. So this one here I have to turn off because I'm going to give this to Anthony. So for every 4 ballast, it's 1 cement of equal proportions. So there's 12 in there, so do the sums. That's right, 3 cement into there. Right, let's get on with that. Just a point to note, if you're doing heaped shovelfuls of sand, make sure your cement is of the same heap. Alright, that's slightly less because the way it falls, the angle of repose and all that malarkey. But yeah, so if you're only doing level sand, you only do level cement. Heaped sand, heaped cement. So I've just thrown 4 in there. What I'm going to do is put a cement in, let it dry mix for a while, add some more sand, add another cement, that's the remaining the sand, and then add some cement. I always mix dry, that's the way I was told, as a wee nipper. Then I add my liquids. But each their own. There you go, you can see how green that looks. I'm just going to let it dry, we'll mix a bit longer, keep kicking it off the back. But I don't want it to be too wet anyway. Yeah, I think I just need to lift it a bit and just like to hit the back of the spade. So that's just under 2 mixes. Just going to give it a little temp now. Let's see. It's just a garden project, it doesn't have to be anything to worry about. Right, we've got the timber for the rest of it. Marvellous, cut my finger walking past the barbecue. Let's get a bit more in. Well, that's cementing now, isn't it?
Put that after?
Yeah. So looking at this then, so that's 2 mixes, that's 3 mixes, that'll be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mixes maybe. And then we've got to do the fireplace. Yeah man, it's going to be brilliant, that fireplace.
Yeah, it'll go nicer.
We just sat there in the evening, you know, nice roaring fire.
Well, whoever had it before just left it as.
Well, there was fire there because I dug out all ashes from that ground there.
Yeah.
There we go then, all down. I just had to smooth that bit out because that little one there decided to walk over it. Got the next cleaning, got around here, got a nice deep footing there for the fireplace area. I'll just put a piece of cardboard in there just to keep the two separate. Call it an expansion joint if you want, but that'll be coming out anyway, or rot away. So yeah, that's where the fireplace is going to be. So this is going to be a course of blocks horizontally laid flat, and then I'll do no it isn't, it's going to be a course of blocks run normally, another course of blocks behind it, and then a course of blocks sat flat on the top. So that'll bring it up to about 325, but then to get to there from this point here there's going to be like another step. But once this is up and dried and all the rest of it, we'll get all this muck back and re-level it all, and then go on to the next stage. Right, that's it for now. Right, I've took the shutter off so you can see how thick that is there, just for a little wall, which all it's going to be is that. There's going to be a block, there'll be a couple of blocks going that way, running that way, then the top one just to bond them all together. It might go a bit higher with the seat or brick on edge or whatever I decide to put on the top. Yeah, that's gone off nicely now. These marks, they're not cracks, I just scored a point trolling just to see where the blocks went, so I knew how many blocks I needed. Oh yeah, so that's dried nicely. Because of the heat we've had over the past couple of days, I was spraying it throughout the day as well to make sure it didn't dry out and crack. But yeah, and I've also been cleaning up the old bricks from the stacks, so don't want them to look new, want them to look old. So this is how we're planning on doing the fireplace area. There'll be a queen closer going in there and a queen closer going in that end, just to get the bond. Right on, I've just run that course of headers in, so you can see there I've got a queenie to get the bond, so when the stretchers come across, and I've put a queenie there as well. These bricks are all different sizes, I don't know if you can see there, look, but so I've got a full one here, and you can see the next one's bigger. So nothing's ever going to be perfect with this, but I don't want it to be. And I've just ran my level across the back, because I want that to be the straight side. I'm not too bothered about this front side. I just need to knock that out a bit, I think, that one. But it don't matter, does it? It don't matter. So right, I'm going to build this little corner up now. Right, if you're doing a little project like this and you're not that brilliant at laying bricks or thinking how we're going to get them level, so what I've done, I've laid this edge one here, and I know it's going to be level to there. Just trust me, I just know it is anyway. But then what I've done is I've levelled that end one off here. So I know that's level, and I know it's level across there. So now they're fixed in place, I could just put whatever I want in here, mortar wise and brick wise, and then all you have to do is just sit that on top and knock your bricks down accordingly. Don't hit your level, but hit the bricks. And once the level hits both sides, you know your brickwork's going to be right, don't you? I mean, doing this type of thing is quite forgiving anyway, because let's see, you don't want it to look brilliant. You can see there as well, I tried pointing out before about the different sizing bricks. Look how far back that one's sat compared to that one and that one, but they're all flush on that side. Well, I said that's going to be the fire back anyway, so I ain't too fussed about that. Right, back to the dropping hand, get them bricks in. Right, you can see I've got them three on there, put level through to there, and I've just ran a row of stretchers in there. And you see, because I put the quarter bat in there, which you can't see, but with the headers, you can see how these bricks go approximately centre of the brick below. Now, because of the different sizing, you can see there that was slightly off, but I'm not too bothered about that. Yeah, let's carry on. There we go, look, so I've just brushed it again. Just filled the joints, and well, actually I haven't brushed it, I've used that rag what I've got over there. So I just filled the joints and then ragged over it. Somebody's going to say, oh, that's not painted up very well, blah, blah, blah. But it's not about that. It's about it looking aged. It's not about it looking old with the garden. This is going to get levelled out there, so you're not really going to see that bottom. Yeah. God, it's a warm one today. Water's going off. Oh, dog's barking. I think somebody's here. Right, I've got these old pink-haired bricks, and I think I'm going to use these to put my arch against. It's going to go a bit higher, not a lot more higher, but it's going to go from there. And what I can do is, wherever it works out the cost of the bricks, I can just trim a bit off if I want to, can't I? Yeah, got it scotch here. So this is a garden project, like I said, so if you want to see more of it, or if you've got any suggestions of how we finish the block work off, I'm thinking of maybe going for a tile now, and then putting some lighting into it, maybe some cob lighting, which is LED, which is like in one strip, you don't have the individual bulbs. So yeah, cob lighting. We've got an outside power supply there, so could maybe power it and just switch it on whenever you want to, or have a switch, I don't know. Yeah. Right, I'm going because it's bloody scorch here. Alright, so if you like what you're seeing, give us a like, give us a subscribe, don't cost you anything. Alright, and if you feel really generous, if you want to buy me a coffee, I'll put it somewhere there for you. But yeah, just liking and subscribing is brilliant for me, and if you can leave a comment, that shows people are interested too. Alright, because quite a lot of people watch my videos, but there's not a lot of subscribers. I don't know why. Tell me why. But just don't hurt my feelings. Yeah, anyway, I'm going. So see you later, people. Enjoy. Roll BT.